You know that Tim Walz must have done really badly in last night's VP debate when even Kamala Harris doesn't want to talk about it. I'm Vince with RTM News. If you enjoy our content, please do us a big favor and hit that subscribe button down below. It is a pivotal time right now in our nation with the election coming up, and your subscriptions help go a long way in ensuring we can keep bringing you videos like this. So please do us a favor, hit that red subscribe button down below. And we'll start here by talking about Kamala Harris, but there's a lot to get to today because the near unanimous consensus of liberal reactions to last night's debate tell you everything you need to know about how that all went. But starting here with Kamala Harris, not making this up, you can go on her Twitter right now and see she had absolutely nothing to say about the VP debate last night. So at 8:48 p.m. Eastern, just a few minutes before it started, she tweeted out, "At Tim Walz, it's game time. I am excited for the country to see you in action," all hyped up obviously. So you're probably thinking, yeah, Kamala or at least one of her staffers must have been live tweeting the debate, bringing all the hype, all the action to it. The answer, folks, is nope. You can't make this up. During last night's CBS debate, Kamala Harris did not tweet a single thing besides retweeting Tim Walz a couple times, but she herself, out of her own mouth, had absolutely nothing to say about Tim Walz's performance, which of course tells you they must know it was really freaking bad if she will not even care to comment on it. And this morning she followed up by saying, "Together, Tim Walz and I are running a people-powered campaign. When elected, we will govern on behalf of all Americans. Join our movement," with a fundraising link. But again, no mention whatsoever of the actual VP debate. How do you think it went, Kamala? Care to comment? She does not want to say anything, which tells you they must know. The entire team, even within Kamala HQ, must know, yeah, that was an absolute train wreck. But it's not just their campaign that's indicating this. We could also take a look, for instance, at the reaction of MSNBC, and it just tells you everything you need to know.
It's the audacity. I agree with you that we're in year 9. And no one knows how to cover the audacity. The audacity is that someone should have said, "Stop it! Stop! Are you effing kidding me?" And they should have dropped that F-bomb, right? I mean, they should have just. This is a debate. This may be the only chance people have to see the difference.
Are you effing kidding me? The audacity of JD Vance is nobody's doing anything to fact check him. Blah blah blah. You know what exactly that response means? It means they lost the VP debate last night. Okay, usually you can kind of look and judge. If they're coping, if they are seething, if they're having an absolute meltdown over Vance instead of celebrating how great Tim Walz did, it must be a pretty strong bellwether that they know they lost and they are struggling to deal with that fact. It's like watching a 9-year-old child who just lost in a video game absolutely melt down. No, it was rigged. You cheated, blah, blah, blah. And MSNBC is far from the only example. For instance, take a listen to what Van Jones had to say on CNN. And newsflash, it is very, very similar.
He lied the entire night. He lied about American energy production, which is up. He said it's down. He lied about healthcare. He said Donald Trump saved Obamacare. You'd have to be literally
I was on Capitol Hill. He
I want to talk about that when you're done.
He lied about the insurrections. He said we had a peaceful transfer of power. He lied. He said he never supported a national abortion ban. Donald Trump is the gaslighter in chief, and this is his loyal lieutenant who came out here to try to polish up the crazy. And I think Americans need to be very, very careful. This is a very, very deceptive guy.
Again, what does that mean? Let's translate it from woke speak to English. Translation: we lost the debate. Translation: Tim Walz did really, really badly, and now you see all of these characters coming out of the woodworks to do the mop-up duty. For instance, we have David Hogg. Remember, this kid is now saying, this was his reaction, he said, "Walz is having to debate a well-trained liar." Again, what does that translate to? You know you are losing, and you're trying to make excuses for why the debate was so bad. So instead of saying, "Walz is killing it, Walz is doing great," no, he's struggling because JD Vance is such a liar. Maybe you're struggling because you are losing on the substance, you're losing on the argument, maybe your guy's not that great of a debater, who knows? Here's David Axelrod, who is a pretty key Democrat strategist. He says, here's the thing, VPs don't make policy, presidents do. who talks about the Pence years, and this is something he tweeted out about half an hour into the VP debate, which, okay, in total and complete fairness is kind of true. Yeah, the VP debate is largely inconsequential, but why would you be tweeting that out? Oh, don't worry about the VP. During the debate, if you're a Democrat, you're tweeting that out because you know you're getting destroyed in the VP debate, and you're trying to come up with excuses for why, oh, it doesn't really matter, oh, it's not really that much of a big deal. The opinion section of the New York Times ran a pretty interesting article in reaction, and this just straight up admitted what everyone obviously knows to be true. It reads, Vance's dominant debate performance shows why he is Trump's running mate. So the opinion section of the New York Times is willing to say it openly. Yeah, JD Vance dominated that VP debate, and it's something we all know to be true. Now, if you don't want to take my word for it, maybe I'm biased. If you don't want to read in too much to what the liberals are clearly suggesting here, then we can look at something relatively neutral or third party. For instance, the betting odds on Polymarket, and this really does just tell you the story. So, prior to last night's debate, the betting market had Tim Walz as the overwhelming favorite in terms of who will win the VP debate according to the polls. About a week ago, on September 25th, it was at an 82% chance for Tim Walz, even going into the night at 5:30 p.m. for instance, 70% chance that Tim Walz would be declared the winner according to the polls. And then as the debate begins, look how rapidly it drops off, and we are now at the point, at the time of recording this video, Tim Walz is only at 32% in the betting markets. That, ladies and gentlemen, is called a total and complete collapse. Now, if you're wondering what some of the polls are showing here, let's look at the sake of relative objectivity or neutrality at the liberal-leaning pollsters. For instance, CBS News, the very network that ran that debate, we know how their viewers must be leaning in their snap poll reaction to the debate. They said who won. It was 42% for JD Vance, 41% for Tim Walz. Again, with the CBS News audience. That is a big wow. The CNN snap poll yielded a similar result. It had JD Vance winning over Tim Walz 51-49. And again, if among a liberal-leaning TV audience, it is virtually tied with actually JD Vance with a slight lead in both of these polls, what does that mean? JD Vance must have dominated the debate, because if it was truly a virtual tie, then they would have said Walz is winning by a couple points at least, but that is not what they are showing. And this perhaps is the most insane piece of data that I found. I believe this is a focus group out of the New York Times. It might be the Washington Post, but one of those big liberal newspapers, in their focus group on the specific question of who made better arguments about how to handle climate change. Okay, climate change, that big issue that Democrats are supposed to be very dominant on. Take a listen to the responses. 13 people in this focus group said that JD Vance gave a better answer on climate change compared to just 9 people for Tim Walz. Folks, if you're losing on the topic of climate of all things as a Democrat, you know you must have had a pretty bad performance, and that is what seems to be at this current moment objectively true. Even the liberals deep down seem to know that they lost last night, which is why Kamala Harris is just ignoring it. She had total radio silence in reaction to the debate, not even saying anything about it. Why MSNBC and Van Jones over at CNN are just coping about it. Oh, he's a liar, the audacity, all this stuff. Again, that is how a loser reacts, and why David Hogg and many of the Democrat influencers are just sweeping it up now. They're just running a mop-up duty because they know it was a complete and total blowout. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know now, what are your thoughts on who won the VP debate last night? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you agree with the polls that JD Vance seems to be the overwhelming winner? Let me know, and until next time, I've been Vince with RTM News. Peace.